I hope as you were watching these scenes, you were reacting to the kids' responses the way you would if one of these had actually been your child. Many of you might have felt extreme anger, but you can't give in to that. And you don't have to come up with the perfect response to every argument he puts forward. In fact, you needn't get into a discussion at all. There's really only one way to deal with this, regardless of your child's reaction to being busted. Mom, would you please tell your son he can't use drugs?
Now, you are to stop using drugs, and that includes alcohol. They're illegal, and they hurt your mind and your body. That's not what I want for you. I love you, and I care about you. And I won't let you destroy your life. So it doesn't matter how little or how much you use. You are to stop and never touch drugs again. Now, I won't allow them in my house. And I'll take whatever steps necessary to see that you don't use them anywhere else either. I'll search your room every week, every day. I'll check your eyes and smell your breath. And furthermore, I'm going to call your school and check on your attendance and your grades. Whatever you force me to do, I will do. And not because I hate you, but because I love you, and I want what's best for you. And if you think you're going to walk away from here and just keep right on doing what you're doing, regardless of what I've said, you've got another thing coming. You're going to have to deal with me, and I want you thinking about that every time you're even tempted to use drugs.
But I told you this stuff isn't mine. I was holding it for a friend.
Nevertheless, the fact that you had it at all makes me very unhappy and suspicious. Now, you have lost my trust, and you're going to have to earn it back.
You drink, why can't I smoke pot?
I am an adult, Buster. I have earned the right to drink. And furthermore, I did not drink when I was your age. And now I am a responsible adult. And P.S., it is not illegal for me to drink.
I don't know why you're getting so upset. I only tried a couple of times.
Then it won't bother you to give it up completely, will it?
I don't need you looking over my shoulder all the time.
Well, now, that's too bad, because that's exactly what I'm going to be doing.
I can stop anytime I want to.
Fine. Now is the time.
Yes. That's really all you need to say. Use whatever words you feel comfortable with, but get the message across that you will not tolerate his use of drugs. And then, for God's sake, follow through. If you have to search his room, do it. Do check his eyes and his breath. Do call his school.
As parents begin to confront children about the drug use that they're doing, this is the time that parents begin to find out kids have been lying, and it gets real scary. And it's important to confront the lying, as important to confront the lying as it is to confront the drug use itself. Most parents say, I trust my child, he or she would never do this. And I think where they're so disappointed is that the kids have been lying and the parents are beginning to realize this. And that hurts.
Your child may only have experimented with drugs out of curiosity or because he saw no reason not to. And he may promise to stop and mean it, the same way you mean it when you make that resolution to start a diet or go to your gym at least 3 times a week. But you must remember that he's really still a child and not always able to make the right decisions and choices, so don't back down. Don't weaken your stance. He is now relying on your strength to keep him straight, and he can use you as his excuse to get out of difficult situations.
One of the places kids use drugs most is at parties. It's easy access, it's socially acceptable, all your friends are doing it. And a lot of the kids who start using drugs begin at parties. To start with, parents need to know who's sponsoring the party. Is it somebody the kid knows? If it's somebody 2 towns over or 4 streets over and the kid has no idea who they are, but they're having a party, he shouldn't be going to it. You need to talk to the person who's sponsoring the party. What you want to ask for is, what sort of supervision is going to be provided? Is someone going to be on the front door? If no one's on the front door regularly throughout the party, it means kids can come and go. And a lot of parties are well supervised in, but not out. And the stash and the booze is in the car. And if kids can come and go, they go out and get high, get loaded, come back in, have a party. At least one adult needs to be at the door. Also, somebody needs to be circulating throughout the party. There are a lot of parties where parents are there, and if you ask, are you going to be there to supervise, they're going to tell you yes. But they're back in their bedroom. They aren't out where the kids are, and that's like no supervision at all.
A simple thing that parents can do is to wait up for kids when they come home, to check to make sure they haven't been drinking, they're not staggering, they don't have slurred speech, they don't have bloodshot eyes from smoking marijuana. they're your own bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, healthy, drug-free kids. Set your alarm clock for the curfew, and when it wakes you up, if they're not home yet, you've got something to deal with. That's your first thing to deal with. You're past your curfew. You're grounded for a day for every hour late you've been. Give them a big hug, give them a big kiss, and see if you can smell alcohol in their breath. That's another way to check. If they've got mouthwash on their breath, you have to ask yourself, why are they rinsing out their mouths at 1 o'clock in the morning or 12, midnight, or whatever it is?
There are a lot of schools with lousy supervision. They allow kids out in the parking lot unsupervised, allow kids to come and go on campus, off campus unsupervised. And that's just an absolute guarantee that some kids are going to take advantage of that and use drugs or sell drugs or exchange drugs. Parents need to be able to send their children to school knowing that they're going to be protected. And you can take steps to ensure that. Just don't let the school off the hook at any point they say we can't do it.
One trap that parents often get into with kids is that they give children permission to go out, say at 7 o'clock at night, and their curfew is maybe midnight this Friday night. That's 5 hours of unsupervised time. And it's important for parents to give specific permission for specific events, so that if the child goes to a movie from 7 to 9, you want to know where he is from 9 till 12. And a simple way to take care of that is to establish a communication. I want you to call me. When you guys leave the movie and decide what you're going to do, call and get permission for the next place you move on to.
If your child's using drugs, letting him drive is an absolute invitation to disaster. If you can't trust your child not to use drugs, then don't let him have the keys to the car. Don't let him buy a car of his own. Don't let him just go cruising. Don't let him hang around at the mall. Don't let him go to his friend's house if there's no responsible adult there to supervise. The key to stopping kids' drug use is supervision.
Let's hear another very serious reason a child might become dangerously involved with drugs.
We know that daughters of alcoholics are 2 times more likely to become chemically dependent than, in fact, other women. We know that sons of alcoholics are 5 times more likely to become chemically dependent than other males. If I'm working with a child who's chemically dependent, I have to seriously take a look at the use and potential abuse on both mother's part and father's part, in that we know the greatest numbers of kids who are chemically dependent come from a family where there's parental chemical dependency.
Now, kids believe a lot of things about drugs, paramount of which is that they're wonderful. A kid who's using on a semi-regular or regular basis is not going to give them up easily, and certainly not without getting something back to fill the void.
Don't let your kids drift away from you emotionally. All kids who are really into drugs are going to separate themselves from their families. And one of the ways to stop that and to get them back is to keep them close. And that means with words, I love you, I'm proud of you. Most importantly, touch your kids. Whether we're talking about a hand on a shoulder that says, I care about you, a handshake that says, son, it's the best homework I've seen in weeks, first homework but good stuff. Or whether it be we have to sneak up on him to give him a hug because he won't do it if we don't. Wait for him. When he comes by, pounce on him, give him a hug or a kiss, and tell him you love him, because those words are absolutely vital. And when kids start using drugs, both parents and kids use them less and less.